Yo, slow budget. Once again. Yeah.
Good morning, everybody. Today is Friday, January 20th, 2023. What a beautiful day. I'm a little out of breath because I just finished doing my push-ups and my squats. A little tiring. So today is the 20th day. So for those that don't know, new listener, I started this challenge on the first of the year. So the first day I did 1 push-up, second day 2 push-ups, 3, 30, and so on and so on. But I'm also doing burpees, squats, and sit-ups. I'm all caught up on my push-ups and my squats. So as of today, I've done 210 of each. I'm 2 days behind on my burpees, but I'll catch up on those today. I did 50 yesterday at practice. I like doing my practice because I coach wrestling and there's a mat and it's just easier to do my burpees. So I'll catch up those 39 a day. My sit-ups now, I'm 119 behind. So this weekend, I will definitely catch up by Monday. So you add the other 40 some I have to do tomorrow and Sunday. So it's going to be about 150 sit-ups. I'll be done by Monday. So all that's going good. I'm going to try to drink my gallon of water today. And I have a lot to talk about today. Today, I'm going to talk about my dream job versus now, growing up what I want to be, graffiti in the 80s, and Alec Baldwin. And then I'm starting something today that I'm going to do every Friday. On Snapchat, I ask me anything. Ask me anything. If it's a good question, I'll answer it on my podcast. And I got 3 questions today. So I'll get to that later on. But the first thing I want to talk about is Alec Baldwin. For those that don't know, Alec Baldwin was shooting the movie Rust. And I guess there was a bullet in the gun. He didn't know it was real. He shot someone, killed her. And now this was this has to be over a year ago. I mean, it's been on for a while. They finally charged him with 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter. Now, here's the thing. I don't like Alec Baldwin. He's a tool. But this is what's wrong with the justice system in America. Say you're an actor and your job and your role and your part is to pick up this gun and fire it at someone. Now, say you do that and you kill someone. How is that your fault? You're just an actor. You're not there to test the guns, to make sure they're loaded. If I was an actor, I would assume it's a prop gun. We're doing a movie. Or at least one that fires blanks or something. So, I mean, the person that should be charged is whoever was in charge of props, whoever got the gun, whoever's job it was to make sure that gun wasn't real. So I want to follow this, see what happens. I'm sure he'll beat the case because they're suing the everyone involved. Alec Baldwin, the director, the producer. I think someone already pleaded guilty. I got to reread on that, but someone already pleaded guilty to some kind of negligence. So I think someone's just trying to get money and sue everyone involved, just throw a bunch of stuff and see what sticks. So yeah, like I said, I don't like Alec Baldwin, but I don't think he should be charged for an accident that happens on the set. Now, I want to talk about my dream job versus what I have now. And believe it or not, this is my dream job. I've always wanted to own my own store, to sell things. This is just how I've always been. Like I said, I think I've talked about this before. When I was little, I used to have this briefcase, and anything in that briefcase was for sale. I'd go to yard sales, pick up stuff, and my neighbors knew when they saw me coming around, oh, what's for sale today? I could be selling ashtrays for 25 cents. I picked them up for 10 cents. So this is just what I've always wanted to do since I was little, buy and sell. Now, of course, as I got older, I wanted to be a rapper. Who didn't want it? I was pretty good. I had a following. The opportunity just wasn't there. So, that's a dream job. Who wouldn't want to make millions off of something like rapping? But actual job, this is actually my dream job. So, now, something that I know a lot of people out here don't really understand is graffiti. Graffiti in Los Angeles, South Central LA, growing up in the mid-'80s, late '80s through the '90s, graffiti was huge. I wrote my name everywhere I saw, as did every young teenager in LA. That's all we did. We went somewhere, we had our markers, our pens, our scribers, maybe a little tester, which is the small spray cans, and we went mobbing, it was called. Everywhere you walked, you wrote your name everywhere. It took forever to go a mile, like to Huntington Park, because you stopped everywhere and you write your name on everything. We took the bus. We wrote our name on the bus everywhere. I'm talking about every single place you could think of. And it was called Getting Up. And that's just how it was. We belonged to a crew. I was from NTS and S&M. NTS was Notorious, Next to Serve. And all my block Converse. We were all in the NTS, so it was tag banging. We were like turned into like a little gang. S&M was more of the P scene, the nice artwork on the walls crew. But NTS, we were bus mobbers. We were known for that. We were known like you didn't mess with us. Yeah, so we had beef with other crews. Funny story. I've told this story many times. The main crew we had beef was KCC. They were out of like the Linwood Compton area. And one time I was with my buddy Derek at the Blue Line, which is the train that was put in, and I saw these two guys, and one of them had a KCC hat on. I was like, oh shit, it's on now. So I told my buddy Derek, "You got my back?" Of course he said, "Yeah." So I walked up to him. I was like, "What you guys doing on this side of town?" One of the guys turned around. It was my freaking cousin Eddie, who wrote Euro from KCC. We just laughed like, oh shit. I'm like, y'all almost got your asses kicked. But it was funny though. I mean, that just some of the stuff that happened in LA. But yeah, graffiti was huge. All my friends today, a lot of my friends today are still, old school graffiti writers. Give shout outs to my homeboy Flex, Spose, Tess. That's who else there. Bucky, who's still on my friends list, man. Above, Prex, rest in peace. Shake, rest in peace. My homeboy Gnome, rest in peace. Yeah, it was rough. It was rough. You just didn't know what was going to happen growing up. You leave the house. You didn't know if you were going to get jumped that day. You didn't know if you were going to go to jail that day. It's just the way it was. Another funny story. My neighbor across the street, my homie Tubby, who's from Florence, me and him used to go mobbing all the time. And that's what are you doing? Let's go mobbing. All that meant was you go get your supplies, get my supplies. We went walking down the tracks, writing our name everywhere. Now we're over there by Holmes and Randolph. There's a school, and we're writing on on the poles. And all of a sudden, a cop just put his lights on. Boop! So he started chasing us. We jumped the school fence. We were running. Then all of a sudden I looked, I was like, "Where's your shoe?" He's like, "I left it behind." I was like, "Well, you know what? Let's go back. Odds are they're going to try to circle around and catch us." So we went back, got his shoe, hopped the fence again, and then ran back down the tracks. And then down the tracks, my friend Jose lived. So we just went and hid out in his house 15, 20 minutes, and then went home. And that's just another story in LA. Bet you all my friends have stories like that about just getting chased by the police, getting away. I mean, that, like I said, in the late 80s, mid 80s, early 90s, that was just a way of life. Graffiti, writing your name everywhere. So let's see. Oh yeah, someone asked me yesterday, how come I don't have a longer podcast? Why I'm only doing like 5 to 10 minutes? Now, let me explain. I have a set schedule I usually do every day, and I'm like I said, I am real busy. I got to do so much stuff by noon, and I got to do so much stuff by 2. By 2 o'clock, I have to go get ready for practice, and then practice lasts till like 5:30. Then I come back over here after and finish and, do some more work. So this right here just takes up probably at least a good hour and a half of my day that I normally wouldn't have. So even just doing 10 minutes, you gotta understand when you see a 10-minute podcast, I probably talked for like 12 to 15 minutes. And then in the editing process, I took out a lot, took out stuff that didn't make sense. I cough a lot. Sometimes the phone rings, the customers come in, I gotta pause. So the editing process probably takes out at least 2 to 3 to 5 minutes every day. So yeah, the editing process takes long. And then once I have the audio, I gotta turn it into a video for YouTube. So then I got to actually make the video, which is another process. And then once I go up to YouTube, that's a whole nother process. And then right after it's finally up on YouTube, then I got to do the Snapchat, Instagram, the little advertising. So yeah, so it's a pretty good process. So if I was to do 20, 30 minutes, it would take me like 2 hours at least of my day. So I hope everyone's enjoying what I'm doing. I enjoy talking. Like I say, even if it's just my son Jaden, my son Junior, and listening, I'm good with that. So now I started this thing. I put it on Snapchat. Ask me anything. Ask me anything Fridays. If they're good questions, I will answer them here. And then what I'm gonna try to do is, I'm barely new to Snapchat. I know there's a way to do it anonymously. I know if I ask people to send me anonymous questions, I'll probably get get some more weirder questions too. But let me start the first one. JT asked, what made me start my own business, especially All Star Collectibles? And he goes on to say that he still has a Pokemon card he bought from me a long time ago when he was a kid. So I appreciate that. And a lot of times I'll get sidetracked and one story leads to another story. So let me answer the question first. Like I said, I think I answered this earlier, that this is what I always wanted to do. I used to own a sports card shop in California with sports cards, comic books, and that ended in about 2001, the year of the the bombing, the Twin Towers. Now, the reason why it ended was before that, it was a luxury to spend money. People would come in, and spend their paychecks on sports cards, comic books. And then once 9/11 hit, people weren't out there spending money like crazy. Wives wouldn't let their boyfriends go spend money. People were scared. So eventually the business had to shut down. And then so when I moved here 17 years ago, I kept buying inventory, jerseys, comics, sports cards. I was always buying inventory and just boxing it up. So then when the opportunity came, I was like, I'm going to give it another shot. And I opened up the store here in San Manuel, and I think I'm going on like 16 years, and it's going good. I mean, honestly, I don't need the store no more, but I'm still here because I like when people come in. I talk to people all the time. So I'll probably keep the store as long as possible, as long as they keep my rent down. I'll be here. But thanks, JT. That was a good question. The next question comes from Ramona. Now, Ramona used to just finish coaching my daughter last year in softball. So she did a real good job. Her question is, what's a good movie I recommend and no horror? LOL. Now, here's the thing. If you know Corey, you see my daughter, pretty much all we watch is horror. If there's a movie out, it's probably, I don't really watch that many movies, but if we do, more than likely it's horror. So honestly, I would recommend Megan. I just did the review about it. It's not really scary because she's a robot, and it's just a robot goes bad. So that was actually pretty good. And the best movie probably before that I've seen was probably The Black Phone, which is another horror movie. So The Black Phone was real good. And like I said, I don't watch too many newer movies. And the best TV show that if you want to watch that I thought was pretty good that's new was Wednesday, about Wednesday Addams. So that was a good show. That's on Netflix. I haven't started that 90s show yet because my dang Fire Stick went out. I'll probably have to open up another one and program it today. I'm going to try to get it going. But so that's a good show. Well, thanks, Ramona, for the question. Appreciate you listening. Next one is from Riri, and she asked, what are my turn on and turn offs with people in general? This is for men and women. I just hate, and I think everyone does. Don't you just hate a liar? To me, lying and stealing are probably, I know people probably say, oh, I steal every day. I legally steal, if that makes sense. And I'm an honest liar, if that makes sense. But yeah, those two qualities, any person is just lying, stealing, punctuality. Don't you hate someone like, I'll be there in 10 minutes, they show up 30 minutes later? To me, if I tell you I will be there at 5 to pick you up, start walking out the door at 4:59 because I'm pulling up. And that's just how I was raised. Punctuality. And like I tell people I try to teach my sons with jobs. My dad always taught me, if you're not 15 minutes early, you're late. So I always did that. Whenever I worked, and say I started at 6, I'm there already in the lunchroom at 5:45, getting some, I'm there, getting ready. So that's just something. And what are my turn-ons on people? I love comedy. I love sense of humor. So like even my two best friends that I have out here, I consider my best friends, Tony and Oscar, funny as hell. And I don't think I could be friends with someone that's not funny and someone that doesn't get my dark humor or my sense of humor. So when we all three get together and then you add in alcohol and we're drinking, oh my gosh, we're nonstop laughing. Like my best friend back home, Derek. Anyone could tell you if we're in the same place, you're laughing. It's that simple. It's comedy, nonstop comedy. So those are my turn-offs on people. So thank you, Riri, for that question, and thank you for listening. Hey, and good job on your working out. I follow people's Snapchat stories. I follow what they're doing. I might not comment all the time, but good job. I want to see everybody healthy going on forward. I hope everyone has a great weekend. Drink some water, stay safe, and I'll talk to you guys on Monday.
Burn one. Yo. Slow budget. Once again.